Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, how many of you are hungry actually? I'm not sure if you all had your lunch. Okay, we'll make it quick, okay? Hopefully 10 to 15 minutes. I'll just try and capture as soon as I can. Quick few points, and then we can always talk back at the booth. Right, so first of all, again, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Varun Dudeja. I lead business development for Pismo for the APAC region, right? Today I'm going to be talking about digital transformation, heading into the cloud and why it's no longer just a dream, right? We'll be talking about some of the key challenges that the banks and fintechs face today, thinking about digital transformation, what are the motivations behind it, and then I have a couple of real life scenarios that I would like to cover for you today of how we have worked along with banks, right? One, a very big, large traditional bank, and then a second one, which was a completely digital retail, new age greenfield implementation we did, right? And how we helped them move into the cloud, right? And gain that success that they were looking out for in the market. Now, before I go any further, right, just a quick check. Do we have any bankers in the room by any chance? If I can have a hands up. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so I'm hoping you can relate to this. If in the bank, in your boardroom, or in other your meetings, you're discussing about digital transformation, right? So let's talk about, are you facing any specific challenges from legacy systems that you might be using today, right? If you're in your meetings, your product teams, your business teams come up with requirements, do you come up with these questions often that, oh, we are facing challenges in keeping up with customer demands? Right, you're very unclear on which systems, which technologies should be next that you should be thinking about modernizing, right? Number three, are you unsure which one to pick first, right, and then move on so that you could still keep the disruption to the minimal so that your BAU, your customers are able to get what they want, right? If that's the case, I can assure you, you're not the only one in the room, right? We've been speaking with banks all over the world as Pismo, and we've got a similar kind of a message from them. They themselves are confused at this point in time, and I think that's where we are trying to focus on that expertise that Pismo brings along on what can we do to support this transformation, right? Now, before we get into how we support it, let's look at some of the key challenges that we've heard about, right? So some of the biggest challenges that the banks have told us that they faced in today's day, number one, they've always been talking about how do I minimize my disruption when I'm talking about transformation, right? That's a big operational risk. You have a big customer base to manage. They've been talking about if they think about transformation, or there have been case studies where certain banks, big banks, went after transformation and failed, right? There have been cases like this, right? So they've been talking about how do I maintain stability, right? How do I minimize downtime when I'm doing so? With all of this, they've also been talking about, I still have a customer who's demanding me new things and I don't have data to say, okay, how do I analyze, how do I know what they need more, right? So there is a big demand about how do I analyze my data and give better services to the customers, right? So with all these challenges in mind, we do have a lot of motivations, right? Now, some of the key motivations that we have seen the banks think about, one of the biggest ones, which is always up there, is how do I reduce my costs, right? The overheads. The more you stick with your legacy systems, the cost keeps going up. There is no stopping there, right? You're continuously adding servers. You're continuously trying to figure out, oh, there is a one change. Yeah, I'll do it in 6 months, and this is what it would cost, right? So you're looking to reduce cost. Number two, with the reduction in cost, you still have that customer to manage again, right? You need to think about how do I stay ahead of the market, not let other new age banks go ahead. So you think about developing new technologies, right? Number three, you're also thinking in parallel, with doing all of this, how do I increase the overall operational efficiency, right? How do I convince the board that we're going to be the next big bank and we're the best bank there in the market today? Good thing, we have multiple case studies, multiple scenarios where we have helped bank reach that space, right? They are the number one bank in their market, right? There are multiple of these. And cloud has played a big role. Now let's quickly understand why cloud-first technologies can solve these challenges before we get into the specific case studies, right? So number one, like I said, everyone is talking about reducing downtimes. How do I increase my availability, right? With cloud, you basically get an infrastructure as a code which is running behind the scenes, comes with auto scalability, right? So you're building a software where you and your team as a bank are not focusing on maintaining, right? Companies like us now and companies like Amazon, AWS and all, they work behind the scenes to keep it up and running. So you get optimized availability. It's auto scalable, right? Security, again, more than you, the companies who are running the clouds are worried to keep it as secure as they can so that you can trust them, right? So there's a multi-layered security infrastructure in place, right? We adapt technology like chaos engineering to ensure that the bankers are always having the best of the technology and the securest of the technology possible. Cost, right? With cloud, you also get the benefits of the cost, right? So you get a SaaS operational model. You're no longer paying for hardwares, databases, licenses, AMCs. You're simply paying for what you use, right? So you're simply paying as a like a per account or a per card, right? Depending on what solution you're going for. You get real-time data. Important thing, right? We said about how do you further build your analytics? How do you grow and meet up to your customer expectations, what they're looking for? So you get real-time data so that you can make decisions and build new products before anyone else does, right? Last but not the least, you are able to release faster. Compared to legacy, you can release without any specific release cycles. We're not talking 3, 6, 9 months. You're talking releasing every day on production, right? Those are the kind of changes that cloud brings. Now, let's look at a couple of case studies that I was talking about, right? So the first one is for a large traditional financial institution. This bank, a few years ago, was looking for a system which could help them reduce their cost of adoption. They were number one. They wanted to remain number one, while there were all these new entrant digital banks in the market who were kind of capturing all their customer base, right? So they wanted something that if they adapt to newer technologies, they build new solutions, new products, they wanted to be fast. They wanted to deploy the latest of technologies, keep their cost low, right? So they came up with a solution, they come up with a problem statement in the market looking for a right partner who could help them build and deploy leading products, right, enhancements at scale with ease, right? And so when they chose Pismo, right, and we started working with them, some of the key effects they achieved, number one, we helped them migrate half of their customer base from the day they moved to us into the new platform, right, without any problem. Today, we have fully automated that migration process. So we're literally moving every month millions of users for them, millions of those accounts into the Pismo platform without any problem, right? We've built a highly scalable and innovative platform using microservices and API for them that they launch a new feature every month on their platform today, right? They're running daily code releases, which I'm sure if you're running on a legacy platform, it's an unheard of, right? They've been able to reduce their overall cost by more than 30%, right? By coming onto the cloud, right? And then obviously they've found a partner which has been strategically linked to their overall goals in convincing the board as well as the market, means the consumer, that they still remain the number one bank in the market, right? So that's the kind of change that cloud and companies like ourselves bring to you when you think about modernization. Another quick case study is about a large investment bank, right? They wanted to come up with a fully new digital retail bank operations in the market, right? And they had aggressive targets. They wanted to obviously capture the market. They wanted to have everything from core banking to cards, and they wanted to do it fast. They wanted to do it the best way they can, right? And they went out in the market looking for a subject matter expert who could help them with this build. So when they came to us, we helped them build the solution from scratch to go live version 1 in 8 months. From that day, they've been building further solutions and new products for the customers in the market to a point that today they are rated 4.9 on both App Store and Play Store by multiples of thousands of customers. They've been awarded the most innovative digital bank by many of these awards that they've got in the market, right? They use this cloud-based technology and they are right now leading bank as a service. So they are now helping other fintechs and corporates to launch their own products using our technology, right? And they've been able to handle unseen volumes since the day they moved to us, right? They've been growing with more than 30 billion API calls, right? And with no bugs and no delays in terms of timing. With that, I think I'll take a quick end to this and maybe ask if you have any questions for me. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. We are there in Hall 2. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help you with any answers. Just come to Hall 2, look into the cloud, we'll be there.
Thank you, Mr. Dudeja, for the sharing.